is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
A lot to cover because practice continues for the Ducks, and it is the first game day for Oregon athletics today. An exhibition going on the campus of Oregon State for Oregon women's soccer as we speak here in the 1 o'clock hour. Best of luck to Tracy Joyner and her squad up north, about 45 minutes away in Corvallis. We'll have some updates from her, I'm sure, next week, but it is the first official game day for Oregon athletics. Now, it's an exhibition. It won't end up counting toward, the overall record, but it's still a matchup with the Beavs. It's still, you want to know that the final score is in favor of Oregon, and best of luck to the Ducks who get their first rehearsal of a game day today. Some other Ducks on the Oregon football side showing up on various preseason watch lists. We're going to have a segment about that pretty much every day until all of the awards have done their preseason watch list, because the Ducks have guys on pretty much every preseason award watch list. We're also going to talk with Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson today. One of her big charges in the new college landscape is NIL. I'm just going to ask her. This will be the first question that I'll ask Lisa today. So, how was your summer? I can almost guarantee you that she will chuckle and laugh and smile, and then it will be a 25-minute conversation about everything that's happening around college athletics. That's all coming up. Also, Trent Kersten, Oregon Volleyball head coach, will join us here in the Country Financial Studio for the first time this athletic season. We talked to him a few months ago. Now practice underway for Oregon Volleyball ahead of the green and yellow scrimmage at Matthew Knight Arena, scheduled for 6 o'clock on Friday. More details on GoDucks.com. Speaking of awards as well, and good things for the Ducks, pretty exciting today for the guy who's been the athletic director at Oregon now for 15 years. This will be his 16th season. The National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame announced today that Rob Mullins, our director of athletics, will be the recipient of the 2025 NFF John L. Toner Award. He will officially be honored December 9th during the 67th NFF Annual Awards Dinner. And that's all coming up in just a few months. Means we get a chance to celebrate him for a while. This is a prestigious award, though. The president and CEO of NFF, Steve Hatchell, said, quote, "Rob Mullins has established himself as one of the most innovative and forward-thinking leaders in college athletics. He has guided Oregon through a remarkable era of on-field success while maintaining a steadfast commitment to academic excellence and the well-being of the Duck student athletes. Under his leadership, Oregon football consistently competed at the highest levels, earning multiple New Year's Six appearances, reaching 2 national championship games, and producing Campbell Trophy winners in Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. His bold leadership in guiding Oregon's move to the Big Ten underscores a career that truly reflects the spirit of the John L. Toner Award." That's the president and CEO of NFF, Steve Hatchell, on our Rob Mullins. This is a prestigious award. To put it in perspective, it was first presented in 1997. The John L. Toner Award recognizes athletics directors who have demonstrated superior administrative abilities and shown outstanding dedication to college athletics, particularly college football. The award is named in honor of its inaugural recipient, the late John L. Toner, who was the former athletics director and football coach at Connecticut. Toner, who served as NCAA president from 83 to 85, joined the NFF board in 1988 and served as the vice chairman from 2000 to 2008. Just to put that in perspective, This is basically the most valuable player equivalent for an athletic director. It's like the Heisman Trophy for athletic directors. Rob Mullins has also served as the chairman of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. He's done a lot. And now, heading into his 16th year, gets honored in a big-time way. Again, this is like the Heisman of athletic directors, and Rob Mullins is receiving it this year from the National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Rob Mullins. Speaking of the Ducks on watch lists and awards, Doak Walker Award. Best running back in the country. Ducks have 2 players on the Doak Walker Award watch list in Noah Whittington and Mekhi Hughes. Back-to-back years, the Ducks have had 2 players on the Doak Walker preseason watch list. Practice continuing for the Ducks inside Autzen Stadium. They'll be back on the practice fields this afternoon. We'll have some more interviews for you, including head coach Dan Lanning. But yesterday after practice, we talked to 2 co-coordinators in Chris Hampton and Drew Maringer. We begin today talking defense with defensive backs coach and co-defensive coordinator Chris Hampton. Some of his thoughts on fall camp thus far. Coach Hamp.
Chris, by my count, I think there's 7 more practices until Dalen will be out potentially indefinitely. What's the contingency plan for how you handle nickel and what the ripple effects will be at deep safety there starting next week?
Yeah, I mean, we've got multiple guys working there, not just Dalen. You know, we got Jaden Kennedy, Dylan's doing it. Zach Grisham's having a heck of a camp so far. We've got plans. We've got plenty of DBs, so hopefully he's with us. But if the decision is not that he's not with us for a while, then we've got a plan.
There was so many young guys in this room. What's the competition been like between that group?
Great. We've had an outstanding competition. Young guys, old guys. You know, there's no depth chart right now. We're letting everybody roll. Different guys are going with different groups. You know, we're just going what we call green, yellow. So everybody's getting the same amount of reps. We're splitting guys up, working with different combinations. And the competition's been great. Today was one of our most competitive days, probably the most competitive so far.
Following spring ball, how did you evaluate your room in terms of just growth and development? And then through the summer, where did that carry over to?
Yeah, I thought we had a really good group, you know, following the spring. All those guys were here in the spring and going in the fall. And so I thought this summer they took tremendous gains, you know, in the weight room in the off season. We had to have opportunity to get some meetings this summer with them. So I thought the guys learned a lot, you know the system a lot better. They're playing a lot faster than they did in the spring. So I think we're going in the right direction right now.
Between if he closed out the spring and what you've had a chance to see from him so far between the summer and now this first week of camp, what puts him in position to potentially be a starter as a redshirt freshman? Yeah, if he's having a great camp, but there's a lot of guys having a great camp right now. But he's definitely having one of the the better outputs in the secondary. So he's just got to continue to grow, continue to get better. You know, we've only had 5 practices. We've got a long way to August 30th. Every day's competition. Like he just asked in the back, we've got great players, so you've got to bring it each and every day. Nobody owns a position right now, if he knows that, but I definitely expect big things out of him this season.
Yeah, Kingston obviously got that big opportunity last December. What did he do in the offseason to build upon that moment and improve and come into camp, chance to take advantage of another opportunity?
Yeah, I think he really changed his body, first. Got in the weight room, hit the weights hard. He's probably put on about 15 pounds of muscle this offseason. That's the first thing I think he did. He has a greater understanding of what we're doing right now on defense. Year 2 in the system, he gets it. And so I expect another guy just like Iffy to have a great season for us.
What you saw from Theron in terms of closing out the spring when he arrived a couple of practices in, and again from what you've seen from the last 3 months, Chris, where a year ago I think a second-team all-conference corner would be a sure thing that he'd be a starter, where right now you've got the depth and the competitiveness there where he very well may not be because of what you've got there. Yeah, I mean, we've got a good group, and Theron's been a guy that's came in, he's learned the system, he's highly intelligent. Today I think was his best day. I've got to go watch the film, but just from watching from the sideline, he made a lot of plays. They had some ball production. So hopefully tomorrow and the next day is better than today was, but today was one of his better days, and he continues to go like he's going today. He'll have another great year for us.
Jalil's return to the field, just how impactful is that going to be for you, the leadership he's got? Just what's the expectations for a guy like that? Yeah, I think the big thing you said was leadership. I think he brings that to the group. He's been here for a while, longer than anyone in the room. He understands the scheme, knows what we're doing. He knows the standard. He knows what's expected. He motivates the guys on the sideline. So he's definitely got to take on a leadership role for us, and I think he's ready to do that.
When Dalen is here, how much does that open the door for Jaden to at least be competing at deep safety with Kingston, with Peyton, and potentially to start the season where, because of his experience and versatility, that he's done it, whereas those guys would be working into a role that they haven't had before?
Yeah, with our safeties, we're kind of rolling guys at between field safety, boundary safety, and star. And we've got Peyton Williams playing some star, Kingston Lopa, Dylan Thieneman, Jaden's playing safety, Dalen's playing safety. So I'm making them learn all three of them because you never know, an injury may happen throughout the season. So right now in camp, we're kind of just rolling everybody, playing all three positions and making them learn and making it challenging on them right now. So it'll be easier in the season if that happens, where we lose a guy due to injury or whatever the case may be.
It's certainly not unheard of, Chris, for safeties to go in the first round or even the first 2 rounds, but it's rare.
Yeah.
If Dylan's going to put himself in that conversation to get that evaluation in December to where there's not even a conversation to be had, it's just, yes, that's what the projection is. What will he have to do over the next 4 or 5 months to where it's a sure thing?
I think he's got to have a great season. He needs to tackle well, have some great ball production, be a great communicator, which he's done all that. He's working hard enough to do it. He's trying his best to do it, and just a matter of how he plays in the season, I think.
With you guys' added length and size in the secondary over the offseason, just what has that allowed you to do schematically compared to maybe last season with guys who were, frankly, just shorter?
Yeah, I think we're still going to run our system at the end of the day. But obviously we have guys that we think fit the profile of what we would want, height, weight, and speed. We've done a great job recruiting, I think, everyone in the organization. So we definitely look the part. We're not as experienced. I think everyone knows that. But we do have the height, the weight, the speed. We look the part. I think we've got all the talent to be a really good secondary, and we've just got to do it and continue to grow each and every day. We're going in the right direction.
Kind of following with that, Chris, do you have a chance, particularly in the off seasons and the summers, to appreciate how much of a stamp you've had on the secondary from the room that you inherited, that you came into when Meat was still here at the time? It's what that group was by way of size, speed, measurables, even production, to where you are now. Do you begin to appreciate exactly how much, to your credit, what you have done to reshape this room to where it's a very different room than a couple of years ago?
Yeah, not really. It's a different room, but I don't think I get all the credit. I think that, Rashad Wadood has done a great job with recruiting, elite players there. Connor Boyd's, a lot of guys that really don't get as much credit as they should. I get a lot of the credit because I'm the secondary coach, but you've got, Kyle Kogan. There's so many guys that work with me, and I think hopefully guys understand that I'm selfless and I don't have an ego. I hope I don't seem that way. And, I'll allow them to coach and listen to their opinions and their input, and we all team recruiting, and I think we've brought in some really good players, and now they've just got to play like it.
That's Chris Hampton, co-defensive coordinator, defensive backs coach, meeting with the media last night. Every time we talk with a Duck coach, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Someone who's close to home, we're glad to have her back home. It's Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director, joins us when we come back. A slow-moving summer for her. She had nothing to do. We'll break it all down next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack, joined by Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson here in the Country Financial Studio.
Thanks, Joey.
Hey.
You always make me feel great.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
What'd you do all summer?
I
nailed it. Everybody, that is exactly what I said.
You said I'd hit pause?
I said it would be like a pause, chuckle, smile. And you
Wow.
absolutely
You know me that
nailed
well?
it.
I'm not sure I love that.
I mean, look, I've just seen Lisa. Let me just say, beyond the broadcast for a moment, if you see Lisa walking in the hallway right now, she probably has 15,000 things that need to get done because of the landscape and everything, and just, right?
Yes.
She will still pause and talk to you every single time.
Gosh, don't put that pressure on me, Joey.
But it's true.
I mean, I
It's true.
try.
It's true.
I try. I will tell you, though, I was gone, a little bit. There's a lot of new faces around here.
True. Yeah.
I got to learn.
Yeah,
I gotta learn.
flashcards.
That would be great. Are you going to put those together for me with photos?
I can. So I married into a large family, and I had to like do that before we got married. No, there were people that I was like, I am not going to remember who this is. And
That's really good, though, that you put forth that effort. How are you doing? Like you?
Okay, so this is terrible for me to admit with what I do for a living.
Don't tell me you're bad with names and faces.
No, I'm great with faces. Unbelievably good with faces.
Yeah. Names? Okay,
Not great with names.
I've got a funny for you. So, I work in the office with Casey and Lauren.
Sure.
Let's be honest, they're the ones that make all of this run. And
It's true.
There has been a rash in the last few months of my inability to either say names right or call people the right name. So much so that there's one that's been such a big joke that I don't even know the real name anymore. And so, yeah, I get it. But then even okay, we're going to go deep. We have Kenyon Barner.
Yeah.
And we have Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah.
So I go to Football Media Day, and I keep calling him Kenyon. And Bryce and Mateo are like, Lisa, it is not Kenyon. And I said, Kenyon Barner's the problem. And they said, no, you're the problem. And so it's Kenyon. I will never say his name wrong again, but I do blame Kenyon Barner for that.
I can just see Bryce looking you dead in the eye being like, Lisa.
Yeah, you are the problem. So,
Wow.
But I know now. His name will not be wrong.
Broadcaster kiss of death, right? Like it is my nightmare.
To not know someone's name.
Well, and a common question I get is like, how do you remember everyone's name? It's like, well,
it's on the flashcards.
It's on the flashcards. I literally make myself. That's what our broadcast boards are, right? Like I have notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't look at them, but yeah, like for the opposing team, you just got to get the names right.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, if I say someone's name wrong, it's like spelling it wrong. But there's no editing it. I've said it, I've done it, and I've done that. I've made the mistake. It's the worst thing ever.
I don't know that I can even look at it and say it right. So,
Kenyon, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it looks different than Kenyon.
Right.
But I'm not getting that one wrong again.
Pronunciation guides are a broadcaster's best friend.
And if I could read them, it would be great.
I'll start printing one for you. Lisa Peterson joining us. Okay, so
such in-depth information that I'm sure the fans are loving right now.
I joke about the changing landscape, but in all seriousness, I mean, this has been anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was like, okay, go. Then it was, wait, we're going to revise some stuff. That's a very general way of describing how fast NIL and the House settlement have changed. And you're living that every day. I mean, just
I am.
the 1,000-foot view for fans. Like, what happened? Where are we at?
So on a Friday, June 6th at 6 p.m.
We've got
Pacific
dates and
time.
times.
Pacific time.
So 9 o'clock Eastern.
9 o'clock
Okay.
Eastern time, the house settlement gets approved.
Right.
On that Wednesday, so what is that, June 12th, I think, something like that, 11th, the NIL Go system goes live.
NIL Go. Good name.
Yes. Okay. And that is where third-party NIL agreements need to go in, be approved by the College Sports Commission, so CSC, and it's for legitimacy of the deal and range of compensation.
Okay.
And then there was some confusion as to which deals needed to go in because obviously student athletes have had deals prior to June 6th. And so you had to navigate, okay, the deals that were signed before June 6th that you were going to get paid after July 1st, or sorry, after June 30th. So on July 1st.
Okay.
Or after. Those had to go in.
Okay.
Any deal that was signed on June 7th that you were getting paid regardless of when had to go in. And then there was a time period. So the deals that were signed June 7th and after, you had 5 business days to get them in. The deals that were signed before June 7th that were getting paid after June 30th, you had by June 30th to get them in. And so explain that to the 500 student athletes that we have. And then, okay, so that's just what has to go in there. Right. And then it's the process of getting them in. And
paperwork.
No, it's a computer. And the system, and there's this, the system I don't think was prepared for the number of people that were going to be in it. And you would get this blue whistle with a thing that says timeout, which means that the system crashed. Well, now there's a joke in our office about, we call it B-dub, because BW for blue whistle when something crashes, because that is how frequent that happened. And so for these student athletes that I'm helping advise them how to get their stuff in, they go in, it's on their phone, and it just keeps crashing. Oh. And depending on the kind of phone you have is which browser works better.
Right, sure.
And so then it's what's your default browser, because you have to put in an email, then you got to go to that email address to get another link, then to go back into the system, and then you've got to populate all this stuff, and it's got to be exact. And there's just, it's clunky. I think they're working through it.
We knew there'd be some growing
pains. Of course. But it's just, it's been interesting. So that's system number 1.
And you're spending a lot of time educating.
Yes.
On that.
So yeah, I'm meeting with every team, have a PowerPoint that we have that we walk through with all of that. Sent something out, with our communications tool to all the student athletes when it first happened. But yes, I'm meeting with every individual team. They all have my phone number so that we can walk through if there's anything that's happening. So there's that. And
yeoman's work, Lisa.
Well,
yeoman's
I don't know.
Work.
We still have a lot sitting in there. And then the second system is CAPS, which that's what's managing the 20.5. And that's from Deloitte. And so that system is, all the scholarships that we've got to put in there, and then all the rev share agreements and all that stuff. But that's what's all been paused because they kind of work in tandem. And so it's just been learning a lot of systems. And then if we go a step further, you saw the big announcement from the Big Ten that we have a deal with PayPal, Venmo. That's the system that we're using. Well, that system is also interesting.
Right.
Like Exact doesn't describe what that one's like. So yeah, that's been my summer. And it's like going to the airport, like, when you go to the airport and you rush, you got to get to the airport, and then you wait.
Yes.
And then the plane's there, and then you got to rush and wait. Like,
that's
I feel like that's been my summer.
I get it. I mean what I said, though, with, like, we knew that there would be some growing pains. I think all of us, I'm saying like the royal we of college athletics.
Yes.
We knew there'd be some growing pains. There was certainly a lot of anticipation to get to this point. And, now you hope that as the dust settles, right, and things are ironed out, then you can exhale and take a breath.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's like with everything, it's new. And we will figure it out, and we will get it done. And, I'm grateful that our student athletes, they want to learn it. They're trying to get everything in, and the companies have been listening to us. Like we've been on some focus groups trying to get stuff done. Tyler Hinton has been amazing. He's helping me, navigate all of this because he's certainly the scholarship guru and
the internal Duck of the Month.
Yes, Duck of the Month. How about that?
Duck of the Month. Shout out to Tyler.
Exactly. And today's his birthday.
So Good announcement date for the Duck of the Month.
Yeah, double Duck.
Big day.
So, trying to get it all in and get it right, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
And our coaches understand that as well, and are helping us do all of that. So it's been good. I mean, from that standpoint.
A lot of dates, a lot of numbers. I think for me at least, that the takeaway that I've tried to tell people when they've asked me is, hey, still figuring it out, but it benefits student athletes.
Absolutely.
And that's ultimately the point here.
Yeah, definitely. It's a new world. I mean, 5 years ago, I did not think that this is where we would be. But we're in it, and we're going to make sure that we do it right.
Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director. I've often said that the more slashes you have on your business card.
You noticed I got rid of some.
I did notice that.
Isn't that great?
But then it's like when you just can abbreviate it to Deputy AD, suddenly it just got bigger somehow. Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, I think I said this before, like my duties outside of this are similar to what I used to do, finance and HR and equipment and IT. The football piece is obviously different, but track, I love some track.
We all love some track in Tracktown, USA.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back, actually. I've got more to say with Lisa Peterson. We now know to get pronunciation guides. I'm on it. And we still got Trent Kersten, Oregon Volleyball head coach, coming up today. Stick with us on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember, back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my heart in Oregon.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio alongside DAD. Deputy Athletic Director. I can't be the first one that's made that joke.
Absolutely. First one who said it to my face, anyway.
I think I might have said it to HJ. Like, your abbreviation is just, Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson joining us. So, you know, we talk about like the changing landscape, but one thing that's been consistent is there's a whole lot of events going on around the University of Oregon over the summer. You mentioned track and field. Like,
yes,
it's always so cool, for me at least, like to just take a step back and go, wow, the U.S. Track and Field Championships just happened right here. They're always here.
Yes.
So cool.
It is really cool. And, you know, being back, that's been one of the coolest things. And what's funny is even when I was gone, when people would see track on TV, they would always reach out to me because they're like, oh, I saw track at Oregon, makes me think of you, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to say thank you to all of our fans. I know that it was a long spring, you know, for supporting all of the very different track championships that we had here. It was amazing. Yeah. But also to our staff, because the staff that had to work over there, they just finished on Sunday. And by the way, we play football in 3 weeks. Yep. So just a thank you to everybody involved in all of that. I mean, we love having all of the track meets here, but it does not go unnoticed the amount that it puts onto our staff, but also onto our fans, and make sure that people come out. And please continue to come out because we want to keep hosting the big events. And I think I saw something today, we're a year away from the under 20 World Championships that are going to be hosted here. So
the World Championships were at the new Hayward Field, you know, for the first time. It was really special.
It was really special.
That was something that I will never forget. And that was 2 weeks of just straight competition. And I mean, that's what makes it cool. Okay, so I need to ask you about somebody that I know you are close to. I think it's safe to say a big reason that you're at Oregon. National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame today announced that Rob Mullins will be the recipient of the John L. Toner Award. I describe this as like the Heisman for athletic directors.
I think that's an appropriate description.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. And, you know, obviously, yes, I am definitely tied to him, and I'm a little biased about it. But he's, you know, the best athletic director in the country. And for him to be finally recognized and honored in this way, I'm really excited about that for him. And you can look at, you know, his list of accomplishments and everything that's occurred. Oregon wouldn't be what it is without him. And so really happy for him and his family that they get recognized in this way.
And
so thanks for bringing that up.
So, you know, we go through like the bio, right? And we can read all of these great accomplishments. But I will just also say, as somebody who works in the job that I work in, I appreciate an athletic director who also has a personality and a sense of humor and can really get into things like 80s Day. I don't know if you've seen this picture before, Lisa, but just absolutely outstanding. He had the shades on in the studio.
Oh, my
God. And we had to immortalize it with a screenshot forever.
Does he know you've immortalized that with a screenshot?
I sent the picture to him when we took it. And
I mean, he's all in.
Look, that's what you love.
Yes.
You know?
Oh no. I mean, again, I've known him for a long time and pretty biased about the whole situation, but his door is always open. Like, you know, and not a lot of athletic directors are as accessible as he is for our staff, and I think that matters. Yeah. But like I said, what he's done for college athletics, and you know, Joey, to be honest, like he's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to leave here, and he's not. Like, this is the place that he's going to be. He signed a contract extension over the summer, and that's, you know, I think that speaks a lot to who he is, but also to what this place is.
Agreed. Well said. See?
Hey, thanks.
That's why you have Lisa come on the show. Tell you about what happened over the summer. Talk about pronunciation guides.
Yeah.
We get it
Always
all.
Putting my best foot forward.
Yeah, we get it all.
But I didn't have to pack for the summer, Joey, so there was no packing. I don't know if that's good or bad, but there's no packing challenges.
Infamously, not a great packer, Lisa Peterson.
Right.
That's the
most ridiculous thing you've ever heard of someone. When I was gone, I have a list on my phone of where I was throughout the year. I mean, I spent over 110 nights in a hotel in 1 year, and I'm still a bad packer. How is that possible?
Is that when you do like the icebreaker round where it's like, give us a fun fact about you?
Two truths and a lie.
Is that your fun?
No, but I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that.
That'd be a great two truths and a lie. Honestly, like, bad packer, say people's names wrong.
Exactly.
This is what we get when Lisa's on the show. Lastly, I just want to leave you with this. Hey, it's soccer game day.
Yes.
Oregon Volleyball, green and yellow scrimmage on Friday. 3 weeks away from Oregon football. It's here, isn't it?
It's here, and it's really exciting. And, you know, again, soccer's playing today. Both soccer and volleyball are at home this weekend. I know you're going to have our new head coach in who I'm telling you what, I have truly enjoyed working with Trent. He is very intelligent. He stretches my brain activity to another level, but what he's done in the short amount of time that him and his staff have been here is absolutely incredible, and it gets me really excited about this fall season.
Coach Kersten knows how to pack.
Oh, God, thanks a lot, Joey.
He was traveling a lot.
He was traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Ask him, though. What will you ask him if he knows how to pack?
I will.
I mean, I travel, so just because you travel doesn't mean that you're good at it.
All right. It's now the first bullet point. He poked his head in and saw that you were still on, so I hope he doesn't hear that. But
okay,
yeah, it's now the
I can't wait.
First bullet point for Coach Kersten.
Now you know I'm for sure listening.
That's right. That's right. Lisa, thank you for everything.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Joey, for having me on.
Hope the dust settles.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Manifesting. Let's talk Oregon volleyball with Trent Kersten when we come back. Thank you to Deputy Athletics Director Lisa Peterson. Time out. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, sound in the hall was actually a footstep. The real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you real.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. He is Oregon volleyball head coach Trent Kersten, back in the studio after a summer of getting ready for volleyball season. Are you ready, Coach? How was summer?
We're ready. Yeah, we had a good summer. Got almost everyone here. We still have Luana, who's in Indonesia competing at U21 World Championships.
How about that?
And so she'll join us on August 18th or 19th, depending on her travel back.
Okay.
And then we'll get going. But everyone else is here. We are 5 days into our training block. This is their first off day, and so it's going great.
First off day, and he spends it with us in the studio. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Just tell fans a little bit about the summer and getting everybody here. I mean, we talked about that a little bit in the spring, but now you've got most of your roster here. What's that been like for you and the staff?
Yeah, it's been probably one of the hardest things to accomplish since arriving at Oregon is just getting everyone in the country. We've got a really special team this year, and the world came to Oregon volleyball. We've got
cool.
2 people from Serbia. We've got somebody from Argentina. We've got somebody from Brazil that I just mentioned. And let's see, one from Germany who has been living in France for a while. So, yeah, pretty cool opportunity for us all to learn different perspectives of how people have been brought up and, what their view of the world is.
On that international roster, we talked about this a little bit in the spring. This brings me to the question that Lisa wanted me to ask you. Okay, so Lisa is now, we've known for about 10 years, a terrible packer. She's self-proclaimed. She's going to be okay with me saying this. She cannot pack a suitcase even though she travels a lot. Are you a good packer?
Ooh. I probably way overpack or way underpack. It's one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like there's road trips where I'll just bring a backpack and then I'm like regretting like, oh man, I got to figure out how to wash these socks one night, And then there's other trips that are like a day old that I have a 30-pound suitcase. I'm like, why did I need all that? Yeah.
I don't even remember truthfully how it came up the first time. I think Lisa just said like I'm a terrible packer, and now it's always a joke that comes up because at one point she was on the road for like 110 nights. She said, and she said none of those were ever packed well. And you traveled a lot. As we talked about in the spring. So.
Yeah. It was fun. Again, you just got to see so many different parts of the world and get to be involved in so many different volleyball cultures and things like that. And so, the international travel isn't always the most glamorous, with changing time zones and bouncing back and forth between countries, but you do get to learn a lot about, the places that you're in.
Right. Now, you were in Big Ten country with everybody else last week, Big Ten Media Days. How was that? I mean, was that fun to get to go and experience that?
It's awesome. We're the only conference in the country that treats volleyball like that and that has that event. And so I've always been on the outside looking in of like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It'd be so awesome to be a part of one day. And then, specifically Sophia and I found ourselves pinching each other of like, man, this is so awesome to get to be here and be treated in this way, as a sport, and to have that sort of broadcast, that sort of platform was pretty special.
Well, I was curious too, if like you mentioned Sophia having that relationship previously, like that's a cool thing for your student athletes to experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, it just makes you feel special. It makes you feel heard. It makes you feel like our sport matters in the grand landscape of, the Big Ten. And so it's a really special event. The Big Ten does a phenomenal job of putting it on. And, you're also surrounded by all the other, top players in the country. Or from the conference specifically, and so it's pretty cool to like go have dinner with all those people.
Sophia Myers also said that one of the takeaways that she had, at least in getting to know everybody, is that it seems like pretty much your whole roster is going through the same thing. What's that dynamic been like, just to dive in on that? You have so many new faces that are kind of getting to know each other here.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job, number one, of just coming in without not necessarily expectations, because we have expectations of what our gym looks like, but with trying to take out their bias of whatever volleyball they thought they could play or they could bring, like how can I learn, how can I try something new this day, and honestly, how can we collaborate and try and figure out what system we're going to be in. And I think that's been our staff's attitude the whole time is, we have this, maybe area that we want to get to as far as systems and things like this, but we're also not, going to force something that is not working for where we're at development-wise right now. We're going to put people in positions to be successful, and hopefully we can get to some of those more advanced systems, some of those wrinkles that we want to get to, maybe it's Halloween.
Right.
Maybe it's December. Maybe it's, the start of conference play. But there's all these different segments of our season, and so we've got to be really careful not to try and go too fast with where we're going, and just try and let these women be successful.
How fun is that as a coach to sort of be adapting to your team? I mean, every team's different, right? Like you have to adapt, but how fun is that as a coach, just to kind of go through that process?
It's new, it's novel for me. It's been a lot of fun, and yesterday we were talking about the Titan inside out-of-system set as a group, and we were going through, hey, what are the advantages of doing this? What are the disadvantages? And just talking through those things as a group and trying to learn and see, like, what's everyone's perspective of this, and then let's go out and try it. We're going to commit to training this for about a month, and then we'll see where we're at. And if there is a system that we need to adjust because somebody's way better in something else, then we'll do that.
Trent Kersten joining us, Oregon Volleyball head coach. A green and yellow scrimmage, first chance to see the team coming up Friday evening. More details on GoDucks.com. We'll be talking about it throughout the week. I just am curious, like, how's competition in practice? Because with so many new faces, it seems like everyone's kind of jockeying for their position, right?
Yeah, competition's been really high. That's one of the things that they wanted to take pride in as a team, as a group, was how competitive they were when they showed up for practice. And They've been doing a great job of that. I would encourage you guys to, specifically you, come by practice. Come see it. Like I think the people that have come and visited, that's the first thing they say is like, wow, this team's got some juice.
That's sweet. That's what that's got to be rewarding as a coach to see that in preseason.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, I think it's one thing to talk about it, right, in a culture meeting, and it's another thing to go in and be about it after 4 days of training and you're sore and you don't feel great and you're at your 80%. And what does it look like on those days?
Yeah. Well, do you have like a thought? I mean, you mentioned like some maybe checkpoints, I should say, like around Halloween, for example, if things don't work out. Like, how do you want to implement this time of year? Like, do you have the sort of check marks, the benchmarks of where you want to be during a preseason schedule?
Yeah, I think you come into it, or I've come into it with like, hey, this is about what we want to do as far as training and where we're at and, how many days we want to go in a row. And then you kind of plan for the most you want to do, and then you chip away and you take away some stuff as you're listening to your sports science team, your athletic trainer, your strength coach. And we're so lucky to have such great pieces in each of those roles for us within our volleyball program. And so, we adjusted practice down to 90 minutes yesterday, and then this was their off day today. So we should be good to go for a few days in a row going into our scrimmage.
You mentioned, like, for example, the sports science team. Like, what's that integration been like for you as a coach, just having that resource here at Oregon?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm here is because I just thought we could develop athletes faster. And so leveraging the resources that we already have on campus with Ben, previously Jordan, and some of those people over there, they've been great. They've been at every training session. They're helping us track the things that we want to track. And it's just been so fun to get to bounce ideas off of and learn from people that are way smarter than me in that realm.
Yeah, well, I'm always amazed. So our studio, for context, everybody, is literally right above the Marcus Mariota Sports Performance Center. And every time I walk down there, I'm always just amazed at the amount of data that they can take in and consume and then spit it out in a way that is something that someone like me can understand, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm with you. Talking volleyball with Coach Kersten. Okay, I feel like this is a bit of an unfair question. Like with roster breakdown, there's still a lot of competition, but just tell fans a little bit about what you see from your roster. What kind of volleyball team is this going to be heading into the first scrimmage on Friday?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with our first few days of getting to play 6-on-6 with, our serve receive ability. And that probably meant maybe our serving wasn't up to par. Those two things kind of go hand in hand. And so you're kind of chipping away, like, which one is it? Is it our serve receive is really great or our serving's not so good, And so eventually you try and challenge both until they're both making each other better, right? And so that was a pleasant surprise because that's a good place to start with your serve receive being at a higher quality, I think, we've had some great pin play. We've had some great libero play. Every positional group has had their kind of day where they've kind of shown out. I think what I appreciate the most is just everyone's ability to grind a little bit, and how do we show up at our 80%? We're going to have to win games in the Big Ten and during preseason on our third game of the week at our 80%. And so can we be prepped for some of those moments, and they've been doing a really good job of that.
Now I'm curious, like you want to practice like you're going to play. I know every coach will tell you that, but I am a believer, you tell me if I'm wrong, that when the lights go on, things are a little different when there's fans in the stands, So for a green and yellow scrimmage, like how much does that play into evaluation for you? Like, how do they perform when the lights are on at Matthew Knight Arena, sort of a thing?
Yeah. As much as every coach says that and we want to get as close to that as possible, you're right. Like when there's 8,000 people at your match and maybe you haven't circled it because you tell yourself like I'm going to treat every match the same, but in your gut your body has a physiological response to getting ready for that match. And if, for example, we test on force plates almost every day, like you'll see it in that pre-match jump. You'll see a 10% increase from whatever their norm is because they're primed and ready to go, and so yes, we want to treat every match the same, but there's also understanding of we have the ability to get up for certain matches a little bit differently than maybe every coach would like.
Well, and shoot, in your sport, the get up is both literal and metaphorical, right? Like so how do you handle that even then as a coach? Like, do you talk about that before even like a scrimmage? Like, hey, remember, still just volleyball. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways it could go. It's like maybe nerves show up as butterflies, right? Yeah. Or sometimes nerves show up as some type of anxiety, right? And so how we've tried to describe it is, both those things are energy within your body. They just don't know where to go with it right now, you know? And so how do we translate that into, you know, something digestible for them to understand? It's like, okay, if I'm feeling anxious, that's energy. Like, where can I put that energy in a match right now, in my preparation, or whatever it might be, you know, that helps them perform at their best.
Yeah. Trent Kersten joining us. All right, green and yellow scrimmage coming up on Friday. What should fans know? What else should fans know? What do we miss so far today, Coach?
Gosh, I feel like we've hit on a lot. I think I'm excited for, you know, to introduce our team to Eugene. You know, we've got our lone returner in Maya, and Eugene knows Maya, and hopefully they fall in love with her game and the roles that she's played in some really big matches here. And so she's been such a core piece of building this culture of welcoming, you know, people from every part of the world into our program. And so just excited for people to get to know us, excited to see, you know, who shows up in a big way on that night, on that Friday night. And I think it'll just be a fun chance for us to play in front of our fans.
I bet that Maya became like team ambassador and welcome committee,
yeah.
didn't she?
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about her. But just talking about that side of her might take away from her play, and she's playing really well right now. And I'm so excited for her. She had a great summer. She came back, and I think she played in an open gym back home with Oni one day in SoCal, and Oni was like, "You're playing different." And I thought that was such a cool compliment for her to hear from one of her previous teammates.
That is cool. That is cool. Trent Kersten joining us most Tuesdays moving forward. Thanks for taking time out of the schedule. I mean that sincerely on your off day, too.
Yeah, of course.
We appreciate it. It's going to be fun to get to know you and the team coming up Friday and the rest of the way.
Awesome.
Thanks,
you.
Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Time out. When we return, getting you ready for a little bit more football. Practice continues today. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Final segment of Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union here on a Tuesday. So Oregon football co-offensive coordinator and tight ends coach Drew Maringer also met with the media last night. He spoke with the media for about 12 minutes or so. Won't have enough time for it on the show today. That means you'll have to come back tomorrow when we also will hear from head coach Dan Lanning, and a few Oregon football student athletes will give us some updates as the Ducks are starting to don pads now at practice. And I'll tell you, every time you put pads on, the first padded practice, it does feel different. I appreciated Coach Kersten. I got to be honest. I appreciated Coach Kersten saying, like, look, every coach tells you we treat every match the same, but there's some that just mean more. It's like that in practice for fall camp. You get to a point where the pads go on, things are a little bit different. You know, that's real football. It does have a different feel at practice. Similarly, I think the scrimmages, when the coaches are upstairs in the press box and they've got the headsets on, it does feel different, and the Ducks are now ramping toward that, at least for football season. We have a number of Oregon football interviews for you coming up tomorrow, but I do want to hit this again if you're just joining us, because this, I think, is a reflection, and I think Rob Mullins would say this too. This award, to me, is a reflection of group success, but I think group success often starts at the top, right? The head coach gets a lot of credit because the head coach sets the tone. And in that same cut, Rob Mullins being honored by the National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame with the John L. Toner Award, that truly is the highest honor that you can receive as an athletic director, as a sitting athletic director. I think Rob Mullins is a guy who someday will be in the Oregon Athletics Hall of Fame. The amount of success in the last 15 years, and hoping for a lot more success the next few years, at least the next few years, that's what Rob has done here. And I'm glad that Lisa was on today, someone who has known Rob in their careers for a long time. I mean it, like, Duck fans, this is a pretty big deal to have Rob Mullins honored in this way, and I think it does really reflect what's happened in this building, in the HDC, in Matthew Arena, Hayward Field, all the other buildings that are being built right now, a new Mashofsky Center, new indoor practice facility, right, taking place and taking shape here on the University of Oregon campus. Pretty cool for one Rob Mullins. Elsewhere, Oregon soccer in action today. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, coming up on 2 o'clock in the end of the show, exhibition between Oregon and Oregon State probably wrapping up. Now, it's an exhibition. It's basically just a practice against somebody else, similar to an Oregon football inter-squad scrimmage, right? But the Ducks will also have an exhibition on the soccer pitch at Pape Field coming up against Idaho at noon on Friday. I hope that one runs a little long. Give us a chance to wrap up Duck Insider on Friday and sprint over to Pape Field, see a little bit of a Duck athletic event. That's coming up this week. Been fun. All right, again, we'll hear from Dan Lanning. We'll hear from Drew Maringer tomorrow. A few Oregon football student athletes as practice continues. There are games happening this week. See you tomorrow, everybody.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of